Episode 3. Welcome back to the Wings of Marsia. Today we are entering a tender space, unresolved grief. The grief of losing someone you loved. Some people experience grief without realizing it. It does not always appear as tears. Sometimes it shows up as numbness. Sometimes it shows up as exhaustion. Sometimes it shows up as avoiding certain songs, certain places, certain memories. You may call it staying strong. You may call it moving on. You may call it acceptance. But your heart remembers. It remembers the voice. It remembers the presence. It remembers the love. And today we are going to speak to that part of you. This is where awareness begins. In this chapter, we bring language to the part of you that learned to survive by carrying love with nowhere to go. Unresolved grief is not simply the pain of losing someone. It is the pain of losing someone who was part of your emotional home. It is waking up in a world where someone who existed in your everyday life no longer exists in the same way. It is love that no longer has a physical place to land. It lives in quiet places, in the moment you instinctively think of telling them something before remembering you cannot. In the moment something good happens and they are the first person you want to share it with. In the moment something breaks inside you and the one person who could comfort you is no longer there. Grief does not end when someone leaves, because love does not end. Love simply learns how to live in a different place. Unresolved grief is like a chair that remains at the table long after the person who sat there is gone. The table is still full. Life continues. Voices speak. Days pass. But that chair holds a presence no one else can fill. You do not remove it, not because you are unable to move forward, but because that space was earned. That space was real. Grief is not the chair. Grief is the love that still sees them sitting there. Marsia closes her eyes and allows herself to return to the place where her grief began. She sees herself at 9 years old. Her legs do not yet reach the floor as she sits beside her grandmother. Her grandmother's hand holds hers, warm, soft, certain. Her grandmother was not just someone who loved her. She was the person who made Marsia feel safe in the world. She was her friend, her guide, her sense of direction, her sense of existence. Marsia remembers the way her grandmother listened when she spoke, as if her words mattered. She remembers the way her grandmother smiled at her, as if her presence was something precious. She remembers the sound of her grandmother's voice calling her name. She remembers believing, without question, that this love would always be there. And then Marsia sees the day everything changed. She does not remember understanding death. She remembers confusion. She remembers adults speaking in quiet voices. She remembers the air feeling heavy. She remembers waiting to hear her grandmother's voice again, but it never came. She sees herself standing in a world that suddenly felt unfamiliar. A world where the person who made her feel safe no longer existed in the same way. She sees the moment something inside her learned what loss was. She sees how that little girl did not cry all the time. She sees how she tried to be strong. She sees how she carried grief without words. Marsia sits beside her now. She looks at that little girl with compassion. She does not try to change what happened. She simply lets her know, you survived. You were loved. You are still loved. Because love did not leave that day. It changed where it lived. It began living inside her. And as Marsia sits with her younger self, she becomes aware of you. Because your grief may have begun differently. It may have been your mother, your father, your sister, your partner, your child. Someone whose presence shaped your sense of safety. Someone whose absence changed your life forever. You may remember the moment everything shifted, or you may only remember who you became afterward. You may have learned to function, to continue, to survive, while part of your heart remained with them. Sometimes grief waits until you are finally safe enough to feel it. Not because you are weak, but because your heart protects you until you are ready. If you are still grieving, it does not mean you are broken. It means your love is still alive. When someone you love dies, your nervous system does not immediately accept their absence. Because they were not just part of your past, they were part of your emotional regulation, your sense of safety, your sense of belonging. Your brain formed pathways around their presence. Your heart formed identity around their love. When they are gone, those pathways do not disappear overnight. They remain. This is why grief can return years later. This is why certain memories still carry emotional weight. This is why part of you may still feel connected to them. Unresolved grief is not a failure to heal. It is a continuation of attachment. And attachment is proof of love. Marsia looks at her younger self, and she understands something now she could not understand then. Her grandmother did not take love with her when she left. She left love behind. Inside Marsia, in the way she cares, in the way she feels, in the way she survives. Marsia realizes she does not have to stop loving her grandmother to heal. She does not have to leave her behind. She only has to stop carrying her as loss and begin carrying her as love. And that truth belongs to you too. You are not weak because you still miss them. You are not broken because their absence still affects you. You are not fragile because their memory still lives inside you. You are someone who loved. You are someone who formed real, meaningful attachment. You are someone capable of deep connection. Grief did not diminish you, it revealed you. It revealed the depth of your heart. It revealed your capacity to love beyond endings. Their death did not erase your worth. Their absence did not erase your identity. You are still whole. You are still worthy. You are still allowed to live fully. Marsia gently places her hand over her heart, not to hold grief inside, but to acknowledge the love that remains there. She understands now. She was never living without love. She was living with love that had changed form. She is allowed to smile. She is allowed to feel joy. She is allowed to continue her life. And so are you. You are not leaving them behind by living. You are carrying them forward by healing. There is more healing waiting for you, and your next truth is ready to be uncovered. Healing affirmation. Creator, you see the love I carry. You see the grief I have held. You see the person I lost. Help me understand that love does not end. Help me carry their memory with peace instead of pain. Help me release the loneliness inside my grief. Help me live fully without guilt. Help me remember that I am still allowed to feel joy. Thank you for holding what I cannot hold alone. A moment held in comfort. Creator of the universe, creator of heaven and earth, you see the one who is reading these words. You know their heart. You know the love they carry and the loss they have endured. Be close to them now. Let them feel your comfort in the places that still feel tender. Remind them that they are not alone. Remind them that they are held by something greater than their pain. I affirm this over you. You are not forgotten. You are not alone in your grief. You are being gently carried through this season. Peace is being restored within you. Strength is rising within you. Love still surrounds you. Creator of heaven and earth, hold them in their healing. Restore their sense of safety. And let them move forward with gentleness, knowing they are not alone. Thank you for listening. If this spoke to you, please join us and share this with someone who may receive comfort from it. This is Wings of Marsia, where your healing begins and your soul is safe. If this spoke to you, please join us and share this with someone who may receive comfort from it. This is Wings of Marsia, where your healing begins and your soul is safe.